You wake up, the house is still, the world outside feels unchanged, but something in you knows it has. Not loudly, not suddenly, but quietly, over time. You feel a little slower getting out of bed. That old drive, the energy, the closeness you once felt with your partner, it's not gone, but it's further away, like a memory trying to reach you through fog. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not broken. As a doctor who spent over 30 years helping aging adults reclaim their health and connection, I can tell you this. Aging doesn't destroy desire, it just hides it. Beneath inflammation, poor circulation, shifting hormones, and years of pushing your body aside while life kept moving forward. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful tools to restore intimacy, energy, and vitality don't come from a pharmacy? They come from your fruit bowl. You see, recent studies from journals like Circulation, the Journal of Sexual Medicine, and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition are confirming what ancient traditions knew all along. Certain fruits have clinically proven abilities to improve blood flow, regulate hormones, reduce stress, and reignite the connection between body and mind. I've seen this firsthand. Seniors in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, coming back to life by making one small change at a time. Not with pills, not with pressure, but with natural daily nourishment that supports what aging has only suppressed. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 5 specific fruits. Ordinary fruits, nothing exotic or expensive, but each backed by peer-reviewed research and years of real-life patient success. Fruits that help increase nitric oxide, calm the nervous system, and restore the emotional intimacy that makes life rich at any age. We'll talk about how papaya helps boost testosterone and adrenal calm, how cherries restore sleep and emotional openness, how pomegranate rejuvenates blood flow and quiets stress, how cranberries protect the kidneys and relieve hidden discomfort, and how red grapes, through a single antioxidant, can reopen the door to circulation and desire. This isn't hype, it's biology, it's repair, and it's your invitation to come back to yourself. One fruit, one day at a time. So if you felt disconnected, tired, or not quite like yourself lately, stay with me, because what you're about to hear isn't just nutritional advice, it's a gentle return to the rhythm of your body, the rhythm of closeness, and maybe the rhythm of love. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from today? Drop a quick comment below and feel free to ask any questions you might have. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video from Be Healthy Seniors, your trusted source for evidence-based, heart-smart health tips. If you're watching right now, let me know you're here. Type 1 in the comments if this message speaks to you, or 0 if you're still deciding. Either way, you're welcome here. Let's begin with the first fruit, the quiet tropical healer that's helped dozens of my patients feel alive again. Papaya. Now I know what you might be thinking. Papaya? That simple tropical fruit you've walked past at the store 100 times? But let me tell you, beneath that soft orange flesh lies one of the most underrated, quietly powerful tools for restoring strength, vitality, and calm, especially after 60. The moment you slice open a ripe papaya, you can already feel it. That sweet floral scent, the gentle texture. It doesn't hit you with intensity, it invites you in. That's exactly how it works in the body too. No shocks, no sudden jolts, just steady nourishment for the systems that aging tends to wear down. Papaya is rich in vitamins A, C, and E, each one crucial for reversing oxidative damage, improving circulation, and keeping tissues, including the most intimate ones, healthy and resilient. These vitamins aren't just nice to have. They directly influence your blood vessels, your skin, your hormone levels, and even your mood. Vitamin A, for instance, plays a key role in maintaining healthy mucous membranes, which matters deeply when it comes to intimacy. Vitamin C protects nitric oxide, which we now know is essential for blood flow. And vitamin E? It keeps blood vessels elastic and nerves firing properly, all without synthetic chemicals. But the real secret inside papaya is something called papain, a digestive enzyme so potent that it's been studied for its anti-inflammatory effects on everything from the gut to the joints to the cardiovascular system. According to a 2019 study in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, papain significantly reduces markers of systemic inflammation. That matters because as we age, chronic inflammation becomes one of the biggest barriers to intimacy. It dulls sensation, stiffens blood vessels, and disrupts hormone signaling. But papaya, with its natural anti-inflammatory compounds, helps melt that tension away from the inside out. And now, let's talk hormones, because this is where papaya gets even more interesting. As testosterone naturally declines in men, so too does energy, motivation, sexual confidence, and even emotional drive. But instead of reaching straight for a testosterone supplement, which can have side effects and short-term effects, why not support your body's natural production systems? Papaya is a master at that. First, it supports the adrenal glands, the small but mighty stress-regulating organs that play a key role in testosterone balance. When you're stressed, your body produces more cortisol, which suppresses testosterone. But the high vitamin C content in papaya nourishes the adrenals, helping you calm the stress response and reset hormonal rhythms. Second, papaya helps reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the silent killers of testosterone function. Think of oxidative stress like rust. It corrodes the delicate receptors your hormones need to work. Papaya acts like an internal anti-rust agent, shielding your cells so they stay responsive and alive. Third, it supports the liver and digestion. Why does that matter? Because all your hormones are processed and recycled through the liver. If your digestion is sluggish or your liver overwhelmed, hormones like testosterone and estrogen can't be metabolized properly. Papain helps keep the digestive system flowing and the liver clear. For women, the story is just as hopeful. After menopause, estrogen levels drop dramatically, which can lead to vaginal dryness, decreased blood flow, and even pain during intimacy. Papaya doesn't supply estrogen, but it helps the body balance and detoxify what's left, naturally. Its anti-inflammatory properties soothe irritated tissue. Its antioxidants promote nitric oxide and increase blood flow to the pelvic region. And by supporting liver detox and gut health, it allows estrogen metabolism to remain smooth and efficient. Dr. Jolene Brighton, a leading voice in women's hormone health, emphasizes how anti-inflammatory, antioxidant-rich fruits like papaya can dramatically ease symptoms like dryness, mood shifts, and fatigue. It's not about forcing the body. It's about gently guiding it back to balance. But beyond the science, let me tell you a story. His name was James Walsh, a retired teacher, 68 years old. He walked into my office with a quiet frustration. "Doc," he said, "I'm not sick, but I'm not myself either." He missed the spark, not just sexually, but emotionally. He loved his wife deeply, but something felt missing. Distant, like they were together, but not connected. We didn't talk about prescriptions that day. I handed him a simple plan. Eat 1 cup of ripe papaya each morning, pair it with some plain Greek yogurt for protein. And that's it, nothing fancy, just consistency. He came back a month later, same man but lighter. His posture had shifted, his face had color. "We've been laughing more," he told me. And I reached for her hand again, not because I thought I should, but because I wanted to. That's the power of nourishment. Quiet, unassuming, but real. You see, papaya doesn't promise fireworks. It promises warmth. And that warmth, felt in the bloodstream, the nervous system, the quiet center of the chest, is what so many couples over 60 are truly missing. It restores not just function, but a sense of presence, of feeling alive in your own skin again. If you want to try papaya yourself, here's how I recommend it. Choose a fully ripe one, slightly soft to the touch with a sweet aroma. Scoop out the seeds, slice it, and enjoy half to 1 cup per morning. pair it with Greek yogurt, oats, or eat it plain. What matters isn't perfection, it's repetition. Over time, your body will remember. One final note. In a world filled with pressure, performance, and pills, Papaya offers something rare. A return to the natural rhythm. It doesn't spike your system, it supports it. And in doing so, it unlocks something many seniors forget they even had. The ability to feel again. Deeply. Honestly. Without force. So if you're feeling a bit disconnected, a bit low, if the spark has gone quiet, but the embers are still there, try starting your morning with Papaya. It may not change everything overnight, but it might change just enough to remind you that your body is still listening and still capable of love. Let's move to fruit number 2, cherries. Small, soft, and almost poetic in their beauty, cherries don't just sit sweetly in a bowl. They carry within them a quiet power, one that can transform the way your body sleeps, feels, and connects. I've often said that cherries are less about performance and more about presence. They don't push, they restore. They don't force, they open. At first glance, you might think just another snack, something tossed onto ice cream or saved for the summer season. But make no mistake, inside that velvety red skin lies a compound cocktail of antioxidants, melatonin, and vascular-friendly polyphenols that can change the internal rhythm of an aging body, especially when it comes to circulation, hormone balance, and emotional intimacy. Let me explain. Cherries are one of the richest natural sources of anthocyanins, those deep red pigments that give cherries their signature hue. These compounds don't just make the fruit beautiful. They're powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation in blood vessels, improve nitric oxide availability, and protect endothelial function. In simpler terms, they help your blood vessels open, relax, and carry oxygen to the places your body and your relationship need it most. But the benefits of cherries go beyond the vascular system. Cherries contain natural melatonin, the very hormone your body relies on to initiate sleep and regulate its internal clock. Now, why does that matter for intimacy? Because the deeper and more restorative your sleep, the better your hormone balance, the lower your cortisol, and the higher your emotional capacity for connection. Poor sleep shortens your fuse, raises your stress, and throws your libido off course. Good sleep, on the other hand, is one of the most powerful intimacy-enhancing tools there is, and cherries help pave the path there, one bite at a time. A 2020 study in the Nutrients Journal found that adults who consumed tart cherry juice before bed fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, and experienced significantly reduced nighttime cortisol levels. That last part is key, because high cortisol is one of the biggest hidden intimacy killers in older adults. It dampens arousal, reduces sensitivity, and closes down emotional openness. But when cortisol drops, the body feels safe again. Safe to feel, safe to engage, safe to be touched. I once treated a couple, Marianne and Carl. They were both in their late 60s, married for over 40 years, and deeply in love, but quietly distant. Carl had lost interest, not in her, but in himself. He felt tired all the time, ashamed even for not being able to respond the way he once had. Marianne, ever patient, missed the closeness, but never wanted to pressure him. When they came to see me, I didn't suggest medication. I suggested cherries. One small bowl each night about an hour before bedtime. Not just for the melatonin, not just for the nitric oxide, but for what it would do to their nervous systems, how it would ease the tension, soften the armor, and invite back a sense of calm safety between them. 2 months later, they returned, hand in hand, giggling like high school sweethearts. "He's humming in the kitchen again," she told me, eyes twinkling, "and I catch him looking at me like he used to." That's not just chemistry, that's biology, reawakened. You see, the anthocyanins in cherries don't just act on the heart, they act on the brain. They cross the blood-brain barrier and support regions tied to mood, arousal, and connection. Cherries also increase nitric oxide, which improves circulation to sensitive tissues, including the pelvic region. This helps men achieve stronger, longer-lasting erections and allows women to experience greater blood flow, warmth, and lubrication without the dryness and discomfort that often accompanies postmenopausal intimacy. But what makes cherries even more powerful is how gently they work. Unlike pills, they don't spike anything. They nudge, they regulate, they bring your body back into rhythm. Cherries also help regulate oxytocin, the hormone responsible for bonding, trust, and emotional closeness. That's right. One of the most intimate fruits is also a neurological ally. And that's what so many people over 60 are missing. Not just circulation or hormones, but that subtle, nourishing undercurrent of safety, of being seen, of being held, not just physically, but emotionally. Dr. Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, often emphasizes that restorative sleep is the foundation of every major health system, from metabolism to memory to desire. He states, if you're not sleeping well, you're not recovering. And if you're not recovering, your body is surviving, not connecting. Cherries help you recover. They also help you feel. Truly feel, not in the artificial way, but in the quiet, grounded way that allows a partner's hand to once again feel like home. Here's how I recommend adding cherries to your life. Each evening, about 60 to 90 minutes before bed, enjoy a small bowl of fresh or frozen cherries. Organic if possible. About a half cup is enough. If cherries are out of season, try 100% tart cherry juice, unsweetened of course, about 4 ounces per night. You can sip it warm like tea. The ritual is just as healing as the fruit itself. And here's what you'll notice. Not on day one, but gradually. You'll fall asleep more gently, wake up more rested, feel slightly more patient, less overwhelmed, and maybe, just maybe, you'll notice that a hug lasts longer, that a kiss feels softer, that the door to connection, the one that felt closed, is starting to open again. Because cherries don't fix intimacy, they remind the body how to return to it. They soften, they nourish, they heal in the way real intimacy should. So if you've been struggling with sleep, fatigue, emotional distance, or a lack of desire, not just for touch but for closeness, this small fruit may hold a key. Let's move to fruit number 3, pomegranate. Perhaps no fruit in history carries the symbolism of love, life, and passion quite like this one. Across cultures, across centuries, the pomegranate has been revered as a sacred gift. Its ruby red seeds whispered about in poetry, painted into art, and even included in ancient medicine as a tonic for vitality. But here's what's remarkable. Modern science has caught up with this ancient intuition. Today, we know exactly why the pomegranate earned its reputation as a heart opener and an intimacy restorer. And it has nothing to do with folklore and everything to do with biology. The pomegranate is one of the most powerful natural sources of polyphenols, a group of antioxidants that support circulation, lower blood pressure, balance hormones, and reduce arterial plaque. It's not just good for your heart, it's transformational for your vascular system as a whole. And when we talk about intimacy after 60, that vascular system is where the story begins and ends. Because at the most basic level, intimacy is blood flow. The ability to feel, to respond, to awaken. It all depends on whether your blood vessels can deliver oxygen-rich blood to the organs and tissues that need it most. And what pomegranate does, quietly, steadily, is support that delivery system like few other fruits can. One of the key compounds in pomegranate is punicalagin, a unique antioxidant that's been shown to reduce oxidative stress, reverse endothelial damage, and stimulate nitric oxide production in older adults. Nitric oxide, as we've discussed before, is your body's natural vessel relaxer. It's what helps blood flow into the heart, the brain, and yes, the pelvic region. In one clinical trial published in the International Journal of Impotence Research, men who drank pomegranate juice daily for 4 weeks reported significant improvements in erectile function. Why? Because their blood vessels became more responsive, more elastic, more alive. But this isn't just about men. Pomegranate also supports estrogen balance in women, particularly important after menopause when the body's natural hormone production slows dramatically. The increase in pelvic blood flow and lubrication, along with the calming of inflammation, makes this fruit especially helpful for women struggling with dryness, discomfort, or emotional distance in their relationships. I remember one couple vividly, Margaret and Samuel, both in their early 70s. They had shared everything in life: children, careers, retirement, laughter. But in recent years, they admitted that spark had dimmed. Not because they didn't care for each other, but because they didn't feel the energy anymore. Samuel said, "We still hold hands, but we haven't really felt each other in years." I asked them to try something simple. Each morning, for 4 weeks, take a small handful of fresh pomegranate seeds, sprinkle them over Greek yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or just eat them by the spoonful, slowly, mindfully. They looked skeptical, but curious. 3 weeks later, I received a message from Margaret. "We danced in the kitchen today." That's the beauty of pomegranate. It doesn't just restore function, it revives emotion. Because in addition to its vascular benefits, pomegranate also influences the emotional chemistry of the brain. It's been shown to reduce cortisol, the primary stress hormone, and increase serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for joy, calm, and connection. Think about what that means. While your blood vessels are opening physically, your emotional channels are opening too. You're not just more capable, you're more open, more responsive, more alive to the moment. That's intimacy. Dr. Michael Greger, author of How Not to Die, refers to pomegranate as one of the most underrated heart-healing fruits in the world. He explains, pomegranate juice doesn't just slow the progression of atherosclerosis, it can reverse it. That means better circulation, better oxygenation, and better function across the board. And when circulation improves to the heart, the brain, and the pelvis, everything changes. Now, here's how to make pomegranate part of your daily rhythm. Start with ½ cup of fresh pomegranate seeds each day. You can eat them plain, add them to salads, stir them into oatmeal, or blend them with almond milk and cinnamon into a rich, heart-supportive smoothie. If fresh pomegranates aren't available, you can use 100% pure pomegranate juice, but make sure there's no added sugar and no artificial preservatives. 4 to 6 ounces per day is enough. And here's the best part. The benefits are cumulative. The more consistently you consume pomegranate, the more your vessels respond. The more your hormones regulate, the more your body remembers what it means to feel grounded, awake, and close. Because intimacy after 60 isn't about chasing passion like it was at 20. It's about being present, deeply present in your skin, your breath, your shared moments. Pomegranate doesn't give you a quick fix. It gives you a slow return, one heartbeat at a time. So if your relationship feels like it's plateaued, if you felt emotionally flat or physically unresponsive, if you're waking up more tired than alive, try starting your day with pomegranate. Let its deep red color remind you that your heart still has rhythm, that your body still responds to nourishment, that love never had to disappear. It just needed the right conditions to grow again. And now, as we continue this journey, we arrive at a fruit that most people completely overlook. A tart, vibrant berry, often reserved for holiday sauces, but quietly powerful when it comes to restoring kidney health, pelvic comfort, and the hidden systems that support lasting connection. Let's move to fruit number 4. Cranberries. Now I know what you're thinking. Tart, sour, maybe something you see once a year at Thanksgiving, but certainly not something you'd expect to rekindle intimacy. And yet, in my years of practice, I've seen this tiny, underestimated fruit do something remarkable for men and women over 60. It doesn't just improve circulation, it protects the systems that make intimacy possible, even before you feel a spark. You see, while we often focus on hormones and blood flow when talking about intimacy, we forget one of the most fragile and most foundational pieces of the puzzle: the urinary and kidney systems. These are the silent regulators of how comfortable we feel in our own bodies. And if there's discomfort, irritation, urgency, or infection brewing beneath the surface, it creates a kind of internal resistance, a hesitancy to get close, a low-grade anxiety that something might go wrong if you let go. That's where cranberries come in. Cranberries are uniquely rich in compounds called proanthocyanidins, a type of antioxidant that prevents bacteria from adhering to the walls of the bladder and urinary tract. But their benefits don't stop at preventing infections. These same compounds reduce inflammation, soothe pelvic tissues, and improve blood vessel tone in the lower abdominal region, areas directly connected to comfort, arousal, and confidence. For men, inflammation in the urinary tract or kidneys can lead to subtle but serious problems: reduced sensitivity, weaker erections, and increased fatigue during intimacy. The kidneys are deeply involved in regulating blood pressure and nitric oxide availability, two essential components for healthy sexual function. When kidney health declines, so does stamina, so does oxygen delivery, and so does the sense of feeling strong and able in your body. And for women, urinary discomfort is one of the top unspoken reasons why intimacy declines after menopause. Painful urination, irritation, the worry that things might sting or burn after closeness. These aren't talked about often, but they're real, and they quietly erode confidence. I've seen it time and again in my patients. A woman tells me she's not in the mood, but when we dig deeper, we discover it's not desire that's missing. It's comfort. It's trust in her body. Cranberries begin to restore that trust. I remember a woman named Elise. She was 66. Widowed for many years, and recently in a new relationship with a kind man she deeply cared for. But she told me, with embarrassment in her voice, that she felt scared. Not emotionally, physically. Every time they got close, she felt discomfort, sometimes even pain. And afterward, she would develop mild infections or lingering irritation. "I want to feel close," she said, "but my body keeps getting in the way." I told her to do one simple thing. Every morning, take a tablespoon of unsweetened cranberry concentrate in water. Just that. Nothing else. 2 months later, she returned with a quiet smile. "I didn't expect it to matter," she said, "but I feel calm, safe. I'm not worrying anymore. I feel more like me again." And that's exactly what cranberries do. They clear the background noise, the inflammation, the low-level discomfort, the nagging worries, and make space for closeness to feel natural again. Beyond the urinary tract, cranberries also support the kidneys. They're mildly diuretic, meaning they help flush excess fluid and toxins. They reduce blood pressure, and they protect the very small vessels that regulate circulation in and around the pelvic region. That means better oxygenation, better hormone signaling, and greater physical responsiveness during moments of connection. According to a 2016 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, women who consumed cranberry extract daily saw a 42% reduction in urinary tract symptoms, along with improved bladder comfort and fewer recurrences. And other research shows that cranberries' anti-inflammatory effects can extend to vascular health, particularly in older adults with early-stage kidney stress. But what I love most about cranberries is this: they're quiet defenders. You won't feel a jolt, there's no dramatic shift. But day after day, as inflammation recedes, as blood flow improves, as the urinary system feels safe again, intimacy becomes possible again, naturally, freely, without tension. Here's how to use cranberries effectively. Start with unsweetened cranberry juice concentrate, not cranberry cocktail, not sweetened blends, just pure, tart extract. Mix 1 tablespoon into 6 to 8 ounces of water and drink it first thing in the morning. You can also add fresh or dried cranberries with no added sugar to your salads, morning oatmeal, or yogurt. If you prefer capsules, choose one standardized to proanthocyanidin content. And then give it time, a few weeks, sometimes longer. Let your body adjust. Let inflammation settle. Let trust in your own physical comfort begin to rebuild. Because what I've learned, after treating so many seniors over the years, is that when you feel safe in your body, you become open in your heart. Cranberries won't flood you with desire, but they will remove the reasons you've been holding back. And that may be the most important healing of all. Now, we've arrived at the final fruit. It's humble, common, often overlooked, but inside its simple sweetness lies a compound so powerful it's being studied for its effects on blood pressure, brain function, and longevity. For men and women over 60, it may be one of the best-kept secrets for restoring intimacy, not by force, but through pure, rich circulation. Let's move to fruit number 5, red grapes. If there's one fruit that quietly holds the power to restore what aging slowly takes away, it's this one. Red grapes. Ordinary, familiar, easily dismissed, and yet, inside those small, glistening orbs is one of nature's most potent medicines for circulation, energy, and intimacy. In fact, if I could recommend just one daily habit to support vascular health in seniors without medication, it would be this. Eat a handful of red grapes every single day. Why? Because red grapes contain a remarkable antioxidant called resveratrol, a compound found in the skin of the grape that's been studied for its profound effects on blood vessel health, brain function, hormonal balance, and longevity. But perhaps what's most exciting is what resveratrol does for the aging circulatory system, particularly in the lower body, where blood flow often fades first. You see, one of the most common complaints I hear from older adults isn't just about fatigue or low libido. It's about feeling cold. Cold hands, cold feet, cold lower limbs. What that's really telling us is that circulation is slowing down. The vessels that once carried blood effortlessly are now stiff, sluggish, narrowed by inflammation or age-related damage. Resveratrol addresses that at the root. Multiple studies, including one published in the Journal of Gerontology in 2021, have shown that resveratrol increases nitric oxide, relaxes arterial walls, and enhances blood delivery to the muscles, heart, and reproductive organs. For men, this means stronger and more consistent erections, without the crash or dependency of pharmaceuticals. For women, this means better blood flow to the pelvic region, more sensitivity, and a greater sense of warmth and connection during intimacy. And the benefits don't stop with circulation. Red grapes also support the brain, which is critical for desire and emotional intimacy. The antioxidants in grapes reduce oxidative stress in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, areas that regulate memory, mood, and emotional processing. This is why eating grapes regularly has been linked to better cognitive function in seniors, and even a reduced risk of Alzheimer's. So imagine the effect: better blood flow, a clearer mind, steadier energy, and fewer of the silent barriers that make closeness feel like a burden instead of a joy. I think of a couple I worked with a few years ago, Leonard and May, married 52 years. Their love for each other was obvious, but something had dimmed. They weren't touching anymore. May said it was like the warmth had gone out of Leonard's body. He said it wasn't about love. It was about not feeling like himself. My legs feel heavy, he told me. My mind is foggy. I don't feel anything. Down there. It's like the signal's not getting through. We added one simple thing to his routine: a daily cup of red grapes. Whole, with skins on. Every morning. That's all. 6 weeks later, May walked into my office, glowing. "He's humming again," she said, smiling. "We've been dancing in the kitchen after breakfast." That's not just about grapes, it's about giving the body what it needs to remember how to function again. Because so often, when seniors feel disconnected from their bodies, it's not because they're broken. It's because their circulation, the literal lifeblood of desire, has gone quiet. Grapes turn the volume back up, slowly, gently, but undeniably. They also contain quercetin, another antioxidant that reduces inflammation and improves vascular elasticity. In combination with resveratrol, this creates a dual effect: repairing damaged vessels and expanding them, naturally, without strain. That means fewer cramps, fewer cold zones, and greater comfort and confidence in your own skin. And here's something I find incredibly moving. Red grapes also elevate dopamine, your brain's motivation molecule. When dopamine levels rise, so does your sense of purpose, your responsiveness to touch, your willingness to initiate closeness. You feel more alive. And for so many aging adults, that's the piece that's been missing. Not the mechanics, but the drive. Here's how to incorporate red grapes into your day. Choose organic grapes if possible. Conventionally grown grapes are often high in pesticide residue. Aim for a cup per day, eaten with the skin on. That's where the resveratrol lives. You can eat them on their own, freeze them as a sweet snack, or add them to salads or a fruit bowl. And yes, red wine does contain resveratrol, but not in the amounts needed to get these benefits. A cup of red grapes gives you far more than a glass of wine ever could, without the burden on your liver, blood sugar, or sleep. The truth is, red grapes aren't flashy. They don't arrive with hype, but their effect is profound. Over time, they help restore the flow of energy, blood, desire, and connection, all the things that make life rich, even in its later chapters. Because here's what I've come to believe. Your body is never too old to remember how to feel. You just have to give it the signals, the nourishment, the grace, and sometimes, the grapes. And now that we've explored 5 fruits, each one quietly powerful in its own way, it's time to bring everything together. Because knowing what to eat is just the beginning. Knowing how to eat it, when to eat it, and why it works, day after day, is how real change begins. So here's the truth. After 60, intimacy isn't about performance. It's about connection, curiosity, and caring for your body the way you'd care for someone you love. You don't need to turn back the clock. You just need to make the next moment count. Start with 1 fruit, just 1. Add it to your routine this week. Papaya, cherries, pomegranate, cranberries, or grapes, and watch what shifts. Comment below and tell us, which fruit are you starting with? Or if you've already tried one, what changed for you? If this video helped you, give it a like, subscribe for more senior health wisdom, and share it with someone you love, because it's never too late to feel good again. And sometimes, all it takes is fruit. See you in the next video.